The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy-fi series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net. The Black Museum. Horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection. Orson Welles was both host and narrator for stories of horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection of murder weapons and various ordinary objects once associated with historical true crime cases. Walking through the museum, Welles would pause at one of the exhibits, and his description of an artifact served as a device to lead into a wryly narrated dramatized tale of a brutal murder or a vicious crime. In the United States, the series aired on the Mutual Network between January 1 and December 30, 1952. Beginning May 7, 1953, it was also broadcast over Radio Luxembourg, sponsored by the cleaning products Dreft and Miro. Since the BBC carried no commercials, Radio Luxembourg aired sponsored programs at night to England. In the United States, a program of similar scope, using many of the same picked cases as the Black Museum, and nearly mirroring its broadcast run, was broadcast by NBC called Whitehall 1212. The two shows were different in the respect that while Whitehall 1212 told the story of a case entirely from the point of view of the police starting from the crime scene, the Black Museum was more heavily dramatized and played out scenes of the actual murders and included scenes from the criminal's point of view. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
This is Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Tonight, Gracie and her friend Blanche Morton are returning from the neighborhood movie theater where they saw a picture starring their current dream man, Gregory Peck.
Oh, what a marvelous experience, Blanche. Those thrilling love scenes.
Yeah, it was a great picture. Luella Parsons gave it 4 stars, and Julie Fiddler gave it 4 bells.
My rating is a little different. I gave Gregory Peck 15 quivers. When he makes love, my heart bobs up and down in my throat, keeping time with that wonderful Adam Jackal of his.
Too bad our husbands didn't come along. They might have learned something.
Oh, what a letdown going home to them after Gregory Peck.
You said it.
It's like riding on the Super Chief and then switching to the Glendale bus. Well, that's the way it goes. At first, when George and I went to parties, he was terribly jealous. If another man even looked at me, he wanted to kill him.
And now?
If another man grabs me and kisses me, George says, boy, is he loaded.
Well, speaking of kisses, Harry comes down to breakfast, gives me a fast one on the cheek, and then we both start complaining.
Both of you?
Yeah. Him because the toast is scorched, and me because I'm not.
Well, I guess the same kind of morning kiss. Believe me, that peck George gives me is no Gregory.
Time sure makes a difference, all right. The first few months of married life, they're all pepped up.
And the rest of it, they're all pooped out. Well, here's my house, Blanche. I better go in and see if Hotlips has fallen asleep over his collection of Lombardo records.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Blanche. Well, now for the big romantic homecoming. Will he say, darling, you're back at last? Will he tell me how much he's missed me? Not him. He won't even know I've been out. Hello, George.
Darling, you're back at last.
Yeah, huh?
Gee, how I've missed you. How I've needed you.
Oh, George.
I've longed for the touch of your hand.
You have?
Yeah, scratch my back, will you? There's one spot there I can't get.
Oh, George. Wouldn't you like me to put my arms around you?
Yeah, then you can scratch with both hands.
I want to scratch your back. Oh, I wish Gregory Peck was here.
I'd just as soon have you scratch it.
Oh, all right, I'll scratch your back. There.
Thanks.
Now put your arms around me.
Your back itches too, huh?
Oh, George, you need a few lessons on how to treat a wife. Wives want romance. Wives want...
Come in.
Good evening, all.
Oh, hello, all.
I saw your light on, and I made bold to drop in.
Well, I'm glad you did, Meredith.
You made bold to drop in.
You're just in time to learn how to treat your wife after you're married. You do intend to take a wife, don't you?
Oh, yes, indeed. I'm very fond of little ones.
Oh, how sweet.
Of course, I'll take a big one if she'll have me.
Don't waste your time advising Meredith, Gracie. I doubt if you'll ever get married.
Not true, George. It was just a year ago this time that I almost married a lady trap drummer, Boom Boom Latour.
Boom Boom Latour, a lady trap drummer.
She was magnificent. If you closed your eyes, you couldn't tell her from Gene Krupa. But when you opened them, there was a delightful difference.
And you almost married her, Meredith?
Yes, Gracie, ironically. At night after work, I'd take her home. She'd turn the lights down low, snuggle next to me on the sofa, and play Love Sends a Little Gift of Roses on the drums.
What a picture.
Well, naturally, I could not long resist such romantic persuasion, and one night, just as she reached the 14th measure of the second chorus, I asked Boom Boom to be my bride.
And she said yes?
Without missing a beat. In a perfect frenzy of ecstasy, I seized my flute and began to accompany her. We raced madly through Semper Fidelis, under the double eagle, and we were just going into the Stars and Stripes forever when a terrible doubt began to creep into my mind. A doubt. If I was going to be this lady's husband, there was something I had a right to know. So I asked her, and her answer made my blood run cold.
What was it, Meredith?
Boom Boom was not a union musician.
What?
Well, I knelt quickly and, facing Chicago, asked Petrillo to forgive me. Then I fled, and I have not seen the lady since.
Well, that just shows you the power of organizing. What a shame we neglected housewives aren't organized, like you musicians. Then we could force our husbands to be more romantic and more... Meredith.
What?
That's it. We'll get together. We'll form the Housewives Association.
But I'm not a housewife.
You're not you.
You're not either. Forget it.
Oh, no. This is the idea of the century. When we housewives organize, you husbands will have to stop pushing us around.
Gracie.
You'll find out what fighters we women are. Just like Jack Dempsey found out when a woman whipped him.
A woman whipped Jack Dempsey?
Sure, Jean Tunney.
Oh, yes. Pretty girl, Jean Tunney, eh?
Yeah, she was beautiful in her new picture, The Razor's Edge.
Hey, Jean Tunney, yes, sort of a dark girl. Gracie, there'll be no housewives association.
Oh, yes, there will, and I'll be the boss. And then I just dare some unromantic husband to snore or stick his cold feet in his wife's back.
I suppose you'll call a strike.
Oh, you bet. I'll pull every wife out of bed between here and Boston.
Good morning, Gracie. How about some breakfast?
Not right now, George. I'm busy drawing up the contract all you husbands will have to sign with the Housewives Association.
I told you last night to forget that crazy idea. We husbands are not going to sign.
Oh, then we wives will go on strike. And I'd like to see the government take that over.
If I don't sign the contract, you'll strike, huh?
I'll ticket you from morning till night, and believe me, you'll be worn out.
I'll be worn out?
Well, surely you'll be gentleman enough to carry my sign.
Let's see that contract.
Here. It tells the rules you husbands have to abide by. And you'll find it all very legal. Go ahead, read it.
Know this all men by these presents. Flowers? Candy? What is this?
Oh, you read it wrong, George. It goes like this. Know this, all men. Buy these presents. Flowers,
candy, I say now. Looks like the husband will get the short end of this contract.
Oh, no. You will find it completely fair and unbiased. Read on.
Okay. This contract entered into between the wife, hereinafter referred to as the angel.
Me.
And the husband, hereinafter referred to as the beast.
You.
Yes, very fair and unbiased.
Thank you.
Nice, yes. Now forget this nonsense and bring me my breakfast.
I refer you to paragraph 2 of our contract, which reads, before breakfast, each husband must give his wife a kiss. If it's a first-rate kiss, she brings in bacon, eggs, and coffee.
Let me see.
If it's a second-rate kiss, she brings in eggs and coffee. So on.
Okay, here's a kiss. Well?
Help yourself to a glass of water.
It wasn't that bad. Anyhow, your silly rules mean nothing to me because there'll never be a housewives association.
Uh-huh, yes, there will. I'm sending a wire to Mr. William Green, head of the American Federation of Labor, to ask for our charter.
He'll turn you down. What could possibly get you a charter from Mr. Green?
Mrs. Green.
Believe me, it won't happen. What else is in that contract you expect husbands to sign?
Well, there's the retroactive clause. We demand that all husbands be less retro and more active.
Nice piece of demanding.
And then there's our open shop policy. No husband can pass an open shop without going in and buying his wife a gift.
This is a pretty one-sided contract.
Oh, no, not at all. For example, we have a husband's old age benefit plan. Each week, the husband puts away $5, and when he reaches a certain age, the wife takes it.
The wife takes it?
Yes. We benefit by your old age.
Old age benefit. And if we husbands don't like all these things, we've got no comeback.
Oh, sure. If you think you're being mistreated, you can make a complaint to our jury of 5 impartial women. It would be a nice change from appearing on the radio.
A change from radio?
Yeah. The jury would laugh at you.
I thought so. And if we husbands don't like it, you'll strike.
You bet we will. And if we housewives walk out, the Screen Actors Guild will walk out with us. Clark Gable, Robert Taylor, Jerome Power, Gregory Peck.
Why pick the Screen Actors Guild?
Can you think of anybody nicer to walk out with?
This is murder.
Say the Green Actors
Guild. A new name, eh?
The Screen Actors Guild.
Nice Looking green about Taylor, Power, and Peck.
I'll call my association a guild, too.
Oh, a guild, yeah.
Let's see now. We'll be the Housewife Assistance Guild. We'll call ourselves the HAG.
Well, at last you're making sense.
I'll answer it, George. You look over our contract.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. Here's your mail.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Postman. By the way, I want to talk to your wife about my new project, the Housewives Assistance Guild. If she joins, your wife will be an HAG.
I got news for you. If she doesn't join, she'll still be one.
We housewives will force husbands to be more romantic. You know, I'll bet that's your trouble. You're not affectionate enough. Tell me, did you kiss your wife at least once a day during 1946?
I kissed her twice.
You did?
Yes. Once in March and once in August.
Oh, Mr. Postman.
I see my dentist twice a year and kiss my wife twice a year. I get them both out of the way on the same day. It's easier that way.
Easier?
Yes. I rush home from the dentist and kiss her before the Novocaine wears off.
Shame on you. If you feel that way about your wife, why didn't you ever marry her?
Oh, it was one of those things. She kept saying to everybody, I love Herman. Herman is a ball of fire. I want to marry Herman.
Oh, I see.
But that cowardly Herman left town, so she married me.
Well, after your wife joins my housewives guild, you'll have to kiss her every day. Just remember what Rudy Valley used to say. A little kiss each morning, a little kiss each night.
Rudy Valley said that.
Yeah. Are you going home and kiss your wife?
Well, if it's all right with the guild, I'd rather kiss Rudy Valley. Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
These husbands don't seem to take my guilt seriously. But they will before I'm through. Oh, well, George, did you sign the contract?
No, and I'm not going to. This thing says I have to wash the dishes, clean the house, fix the meals. I'm surprised it doesn't say I should brush your teeth.
Read the small print.
That too, huh? Well, I'm not going to sign. According to this, the husband does everything and the wife nothing.
Not true. I'll admit I've given some of the wife's jobs to the husband, but the wife still has plenty to do. When a baby arrives, the wife paces the floor of the hospital.
Wait a minute. The wife paces the floor?
Yes.
And the husband?
That's one of the jobs I gave him. Well, George, are you ready to sign this contract with the Housewives Guild?
No. If I sign that thing, I'll be nothing but slave.
You will not be a slave. I'll just sign your name right here, Uncle Tom. I mean, George.
Gracie, there's a piece of paper in Washington called the Declaration of Independence. It guarantees all men the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, how do you like that? The minute those Republicans get in, they start making new laws.
The Declaration of Independence was drawn up by Jefferson, Franklin, Adams, and Henry.
I don't care what firm of attorneys wrote it. I'll get Jerry Geasley to break it.
Look, I'm not going to sign this contract. Paragraph 4 says I have to make love like Gregory Peck. What's the matter with the way I make love?
You'll find that in paragraphs 5, 6, 7. All right, George, sign the contract.
I'll do nothing of the kind. I'm going in the den and read the paper.
Why don't you clop him on the head like I did Harry?
Oh, I couldn't do that to George. His little head is too sweet, too precious, too hard.
But we've got to get his signature on that contract.
Say, what if he thought he was signing his autograph?
That's a good idea.
Well, sure, all we have to do is find a George Burns fan.
Well, that lousens that up.
Well, for your information, Blanche Morton, George Burns has fans from California to New York.
Really?
Yes, I'm in California and his mother's in New York. And since I'm the hostess, I'll go in and get his autograph. George.
Yes?
You're awfully funny on the radio.
Everybody says so.
Yes. Much funnier than those comedians who use a dialect to get laughs, like H.V. Kaltenborn.
Thanks.
You get laughs because the jokes you tell are so clever. Tell me one now, dear.
Okay. A fellow said to his friend, how about having lunch with me?
Oh, that's marvelous.
Wait a minute. That's not all of the joke.
It's enough for my purpose.
Huh?
You're the funniest comedian in the world, George. May I have your autograph?
You want my autograph?
Yes. Right here on this dotted line.
Oh, so that's what you're up to. Trying to get my signature on that silly contract. Well, it didn't work. Now get out of here.
Yes, dear. George.
What now?
I'm sorry I tried to fool you. You're so smart and I'm such a dope.
You said it.
I always have to come to you when there's something I don't know. Would you answer a couple of questions for me?
Sure.
What was President Washington's first name?
George.
Oh, I love the way you snap those answers out. Now, what was the last name of that famous Scotch poet, Robert
Burns.
Oh, of course. George and Burns. In case I forget them again, would you write them down on this dotted line?
Out, out, out.
Judge, do you think people should feed razor blades to elephants?
Feed razor blades to elephants? Of course not.
Good. I'm getting up a petition against it. Sign right here on the dotted line.
Out, out, out.
George!
What's wrong?
The house is on fire.
No.
Yes. Quick, here's an application for insurance. Sign on the dotted line.
Out, out, out. Yes?
Telegram for George Burns. Sign here.
Okay. There you are. I wonder who the telegram's from, Gracie.
From me.
From you?
Yeah, read it.
Dear George, that paper you just signed was the Housewives Guild contract. Happy New Year, Uncle Tom. Signed, Gracie. So you hired this messenger boy to trick me, huh? Why,
Don't call me names or I'll have you thrown out of my house.
your house? This is my house.
Oh, really, Judge? You should read a contract before you sign it.
Oh, no. NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.